Hello everybody, my name is Herb and you're back on Herbscapes. We got another amazing project for you guys today. We have the UNS 25S Shallow Scape. It's going to be an amazing build. We got everything that we needed to do this scape today at the Aquarium and Reptile Depot here in Sacramento, California. I want to give a big shout out to those guys. I'm repping their merch as we speak. We got that tank and we got all of the plants that we were going to need to do this tank. Boost, moss, crypts, everything. So big shout out to those guys. Another really big development that we actually have going on the channel right now is that Hyggers actually got a hold of us and they were very generous and they sent us out this 10-watt adjustable air pump. This thing is going to be able to run the whole studio so that I no longer have to use the individual's tiny little air pumps. Just less things plugged in, less complication, easier method to run the studio. We use Hyggers products in this studio a lot. We use the lighting, the heaters, yada yada. So big shout out to Hyggers, big shout out to the Aquarium Reptile Depot. Let's jump right into this build. And here we have it, guys. We are back on the fish cart. Like I said, this is the 25S. It's a shallow tank. It's about 2-ish gallons. It's got the miter edges. This is definitely going to be the nicest tank that I have currently in my studio. But like I said, it's pretty budget friendly. This one only cost me about $35, so it's not like cost prohibitive, I would say. So let's go ahead and start with our substrate layer, and then we'll move on to the planting. And let's get it, guys. I'm really excited about this. All right, so our hardscape for this is going to be these two gorgeous pieces of lava rock, these black lava rock that I ordered. These two pieces are going to be really, really good, I think, because they have those kind of peaks. They're both kind of those like triangular sort of compositions. And so the way we're going to do these up is essentially we are going to take epiphytes like some of this spiky moss, some Bucephalandra. This is the curve boss. This is the purple blue Bucephalandra. And then we actually have this Anubias Nana Gold, which is like gonna turn this beautiful white color, hopefully. And we're gonna attach all that using some of our cyano, goodness gracious, some of our cyanoacrylate super glue and some of this UN Nature Foresta Terraline, and we're just going to wrap it around, make it look beautiful. A base of this moss here is just going to go all over the place, and then we're going to attach some boosters to it, and it's going to look really, really natural. It's going to look beautiful inside the scape itself. So we're going to kind of speed through this a little bit. I don't know if I have all the time in the world to really show you guys exactly how this is done, but I'll bring you guys in and out as we get through this, because this is going to take a significant amount of time. So stay with me, guys. All right, so we got our spiky moss. And when this stuff comes to you in the mail, it's just this wad of moss. Moss is an epiphyte, so there's not really a root to it or not. So what I usually do is I just kind of unwind it all, just breaking it up into like a mat. And then, each one of these, each little piece that you can pull off is like a usable amount. And so all we're going to do is just kind of stick it on, wrap the Terraline around it, making sure that it's, nice and tight there. Being pretty strategic about how we're going to do this. And just work it out, work through it. Okay, so now that we got the moss wrapped on there, just kind of give her a nice little haircut. Just getting rid of any like excess bits. And after that's kind of taken care of, we can actually go ahead and start placing our small little Bucephalandras that we have here, as well as our Anubias Nana Goldens. See, they're just so beautiful and so cute. We're just gonna kind of figure out, good spots for these and just kind of place them on there. And after that, I'll be back. And there you go, guys. So we have the moss. You can see a little bit of this terra line, but eventually the moss will kind of grow to cover it and you won't really see any of it anymore. We have our little Anubiuses. We have our boosts tied on there nice and well. I'm not sure. I think I might try to add this one in there eventually, but I'm not really 100% sure. Anyway, let's go ahead and move on to our next one, which is this one here. And I went ahead and I pulled some of this green Godzilla boost with the crinkle leaves out of one of my other tanks. And I think that one's going to look so beautiful, kind of something like that. We have the other boost. I think it's going to kind of go somewhere in this direction, and that's kind of what I'm imagining. Maybe putting this one on there as well, like that. Yeah, I think that looks good. So let's go ahead and cover this one with moss as well. We'll go ahead and get these boosts tied on, and I'll see you guys then, okay? And just like that, ladies and gentlemen, we are done. I think that that looks really nice, actually. I'm really happy with the results of that. Love this boost here. This green Godzilla boost is going to look beautiful. And, you know, again, you can see some of this terra line, obviously, but the moss is going to grow up through it so much so quickly that it's really not, you're not going to be able to see that eventually. So just keep that in mind if you're ever using this kind of stuff. All right, so now that we got these actually placed in our tank here, I'm actually going to remove this one for now since it won't really stay up on its own. I'm going to put that one back over here somewhere. And let's go ahead and get all of our substrate in here. We are going to start with some of our aquatic pond soil. Go ahead and just get a couple good scoops of that in there. And this really is just to up the nutrients within the substrate layer. Just to make sure that we get plenty of good growth out of our plants. And for our aqua soil, of course, we are using our Fluval Biostratum. This stuff is amazing. It comes with beneficial bacteria within the soil itself, which helps this tank cycle a little bit faster than normally it would. Alrighty, go ahead and just give this a nice pour in. Okay, so now that we have all the substrate in, let's go ahead, or at least the aqua soil in. Let's go ahead and place our other rock. I'm thinking somewhere about there. And I think that looks pretty good. I think both of those together look like tropical little islands. And again, guys, this is actually some of my favorite sand that I think I've ever used. It's like this beautiful Monterey beach sand. It's got darks, it's got lights, it's got some beautiful texture to it that I think is just absolutely lovely. If anybody has been to Monterey, you'll actually be able to testify that this looks very much like the actual sand that is on the beaches there. I can't confirm whether or not this is from the beaches of Monterey, but it definitely resembles it. I go to Monterey every year with my wife for our anniversary. We were actually just there. Of course, we had to hit up the Monterey Bay Aquarium. And it was just the most lovely time ever. And I remember taking a look at the beach sand while we were there and being like, that actually does look like that stuff that I've used. So, all right, everything's looking beautiful. I got that substrate in there. That white beach sand, the Monterey beach sand, it looks so much better with that lava rock than I was expecting. I mean, I really wasn't sure whether or not that was gonna go together well. So this is a very pleasant surprise. So with that being said, let's go ahead and just prep the rest of our plants that we have. We're gonna get all of the root feeding plants into this substrate here. We'll go ahead and fit the heater, the filter. We'll get this thing back on the shelf. So we're pretty close, guys. So far, I am absolutely loving what we got. So hope you guys do too. Alrighty, so we went ahead and we got all of our plants prepped, so we're gonna go ahead and get planting with this thing. We have some Echinodorus. This is one of my favorite ones. It's got these beautiful bright red colors and red leaves, so this is gonna be really amazing. This isn't gonna get too big, but it is going to get maybe a couple of inches. So let's go ahead and get this planted, I think somewhere right there, off to kind of the side. Get that placed in there nice and decent. And then we have our crypt Lutea. I love this kind of crypt. It's definitely one of my favorites. Somewhere kind of near like the front, maybe right there. Perfect. And then we have this absolutely drop dead gorgeous Cryptocorean Windy Brown. It's got some good texture. It's gonna turn like this nice kind of ruddy brown color. Super beautiful. Let's go ahead and get that in. And then we have some of this gorgeous dwarf baby tears. Got a couple of pieces already planted just to make sure they would work. And this is a very low growing plant. We're gonna go ahead and go near the front with this. And we're also going to go in with a little bit of this hydrocultural Tepartie. I think that's how you say it. We're going to go in the back section here with it. I think that's going to be kind of the best. Okay, that's most of them. We got the Cryptoluteas, we got our Echinodorus in back here, so that's going to get that's going to get a lot bigger. And then we got all of our hydrocultural Tepartie parted really close to this rock because I want it to kind of creep up that rock. You can kind of see a little bit of it right there, but if it could really creep up onto that rock, I'd be really happy. So, all right, let's go ahead and get the rest of these. And now we're going to go ahead with some of our Juncus repens. I'm hoping that this kind of grows a little bit emerged out of the water. It's been kind of hit or miss with this, but I'm hoping with access to the nitrogen in the atmosphere, this kind of grows a little bit better than it has for me in the past. So we're going to go ahead and put this right back in this area there. All right, so we got our dwarf tears in the front here. We got all of our boosts for philanders in place. The crypts look delicious. Everything's looking really good. That hydrocultural Tepartie, hopefully that grows up, like I said, and kind of takes over that rock a little bit. That'd be really nice. The Juncus repens looks great back there. Hopefully that grows up and out. The Echinodorus is looking really nice. Hopefully we get a little bit of a pop of color as it moves up and around that rock. Now that our normal, let's say, quote unquote plants are out of the way, let's get into something that we haven't used before, which is more of like a pond plant. This is a black taro plant. So this is going to go ahead and just go right back here in the corner. I think that that's going to look really, really good. It's going to get pretty tall and it's going to be pretty lush. All right, we're done. And as a little bit of an experiment, I took a Bella Palm from one of my other tanks and I just put it directly into the substrate. I don't know if this is gonna work or not, to be honest with you, because it was free floating in the other tank, so it wasn't exactly planted into any actual substrate or anything. I don't know if this is gonna be a problem, but my thought is if it free floats, then it should do even better when it actually has substrate, right? I mean, I don't know. I mean, you guys tell me if that would work or not, but this is definitely a bit of an experiment. So we'll see if that works. If it doesn't, I'll just pull it out, whatever. But yeah, we're done. That taro looks great in the back. That's gonna get a lot taller, bigger. It'll grow up towards the light. All the boosters look great. That Echinodoros, I'm really happy with that. I think that's gonna look beautiful, give a little bit of pop of color back there. Hopefully that Juncus repus does good. The Hydrocotyl's definitely gonna do good, hopefully. I really do want it to grow up onto this rock like that. I think that would look really nice. All right. And we are done with our planting. Let's get some water in this thing. We'll get the filter hooked up and we'll call it a day, guys. All right, so we're back here on the shelf. Now we have to get our filter going. And this is just really simply the Zoomed Turtle Clean 15. So this filter is technically for like a turtle tank or something like that, but it'll work fine for our purposes. As long as it's pushing and pulling that water, it's gonna be okay. So we just have a bunch of our biomedia in there. And just as a precaution, we're actually gonna go ahead and we're gonna put some of this Dr. Tim's Aquatic One and Only Bacteria, Live Nitrifying Bacteria Aquarium Starter. So this is just a starting bacteria. So you just shake it on up. And this is such a small aquarium. I'm not really 100% sure how much to use, but you really can't overdose it, at least. So we're just gonna pour this directly into this unit here. And it's gonna be murky. So as soon as we turn this on, it's gonna pump all that bacteria into the tank. And this water is gonna be really murky for at least 24 hours. So let's go ahead and get this set up. Let's get this rolling. And then we'll reconvene here in about a day or two after everything's kind of cleared up, hopefully. Okay, and like I said, it's gonna get real murky real fast as all of that beneficial bacteria kind of makes its way through in the form of that aquarium starter. So it'll take a day or two, if that, to kind of clear up. So it should be good in a little while. In the meantime, let's go ahead and let's get some fertilizer in this thing. Like I said, I mean, this is like a dirty, gross bottle, but the Aquarium Co-op Easy Green. No association with them, but they make a good product, so. And this is just to make sure that everything goes good. All the plants have the food they need, rather that there's really no creatures in this tank, so. We're just gonna wait. We're gonna give it, a couple days to make sure that the filter sets up, that the cycle sets up, that the plants are all going to do well, and we'll reconvene then, guys. All right, guys, let's take a quick look at our AC Hygger adjustable air pump here. Like I said, Hygger was gracious enough to kind of send this over to us, so let's go ahead and jump into this box here. We got some protective foam, the user manual. I think these are like little filters for the air pump there. And then we have the air pump itself. And as you can see, it's pretty simple design, pretty simple shape. It's got a nice little touchpad here. I'm guessing that lights up somehow. And then we got our airlines. So it shouldn't be too difficult to kind of figure out how this goes together. So let's go ahead and get this on the shelf. Let's get the lines hooked up and let's run this studio with this thing. I think this is going to be really awesome. So again, thanks to Hygger for this. And it's dead silent in here. I mean, like, you can hear the bubbles from the water, obviously, but like, as far as the actual pump goes, it's dead silent. So great product from Hyggers. I don't know if you guys know this, but I actually share this office with my wife. This is also her home office. So it's all about just reducing noise and making sure that it stays a good work environment for her as well. So being able to reduce that noise to essentially zero, while being able to like fully, aerate all of my tanks at once from one thing is a huge game changer for me. So if you guys have multiple small nano tanks like me, this I think would be an amazing product for you guys. So definitely check this out. I have all my airline tubing attached to it. So this was the existing tubing that was going to the other smaller air pumps that I had sitting around. That's why it's a different color. And I got some of this newer black tubing here. So let's go ahead and I think it's a bit of a hold. And to be honest with you, it's dead silent, like dead silent. It's even quieter than the couple of small ones that I have. And from that one pump, I am running that sponge filter, and that's an increased amount of flow from the other small one. I'm running this tank here. You can see it's going in there. This is our 4-gallon Phoenix Reservoir tank. It's running that one as well. And then it's running our brand new Scape. This is about a week on from where I left off last. That's a bit of an intense amount of bubbles for fish or anything. We don't have any critters in here yet, so this thing is still sort of doing its thing. Hopefully we'll go today or tomorrow and get some new stuff, but it is just looking so beautiful. That taro in the back is throwing up leaves. That Bella Palm is looking beautiful. What is it? Hydrophila tipartii is looking great. It's peeking over that rock exactly the way I wanted to. The moss is all looking great. The crypts are all looking great. I did end up adding a couple of little just pieces of lava rock just to go with the other bigger lava rock, just to give it a little bit more character. We've actually gotten a pretty funny amount of growth on, and by funny I just mean a lot. It's a lot of growth on this dwarf baby tears on the front, so I mean that's really good. But all the boosters are just looking so fantastic. The moss is, hasn't really grown too much in the last week, but hopefully things turn out really, really well. And with those bubbles coming up in the middle there with that air stone, I just think it looks so gorgeous. That's going to help take care of some of our emerged bucephalandras and some of that emerged moss that we have growing up there on that, and our Anubias as well. So just a little bit more flow in the tank. I think that's going to help with some of that melt that we're getting. But overall, guys, I think that we have a really, I think we have a success here. Really beautiful tank, another great addition to the fish shelf. So this really does remind me of a very tropical kind of wonderland. I definitely think it's one of my favorite ones that we've done so far on the channel. It looks semi-saltwater, even if you know anything about saltwater, you know that's not true. But it just has a very tropical feel to me. I don't really necessarily know what that is, but definitely a very tropical feel. Unfortunately, we just really aren't ready to put any critters in here as of right now. The testing that we did kind of came back with some, it's just not as good as it could be. There's still pretty high nitrites, and it's still a little bit of ammonia in the water as well. So we're going to be doing water changes and just adding beneficial bacteria over the next couple of days, and we're going to check on that. So unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to show you guys putting any critters in this particular video, but I'm thinking of just breaking this into like a 2-part video, and then I'll show you guys putting the shrimp that we're going to add in here, and the snails, and the fish that we're eventually going to put in here as well. So and once again, guys, I want to thank anybody who liked and subscribed in any of the last videos. I'm trying to get these out to you guys as quick as I can, and just doing interesting projects, things that I love to do, and just If you guys like what's going on the channel, please feel free to like and subscribe. Go ahead and share this with your friends, or spread the word about the channel. I love you guys, and I'll catch you in the next one.